The flop of the third movie and the long break between it and the upcoming fourth sequel of the Expendables franchise could be just two of the many reasons that will change the course of the franchise in the future, with the Expendables 4 movie marking the start of something new, which is understandable when the 9-year gap is taken into consideration. The already confirmed Expendable 4's movie is ready to continue the story of its predecessor and expand the number of movies from the franchise, a franchise that certainly pays homage to the thrill-a-minute action movies from back in the day in the 1980s and 90s. The upcoming movie is expected to add to all the ride-or-die excitement and its spectacle, and with it, probably being the best movie from the franchise as of yet. Or, that is what Sylvester Stallone said for the next movie in his life. Lionsgate is behind the movie's production, and according to the company, it was supposed to release this year. However, mainly due to the COVID-19 side of things and the delay the filming industry suffered, the movie is now slated to hit the big screens on the 22nd of September 2023, in roughly slightly less than a year from now. So now, with all that being said, let's see which characters we're going to see in the movie. And trust me, you don't want to get me started, which is why I'll try to name a few, including the man behind the movie, Sylvester Stallone, in the character of Barney Ross, the main protagonist of the franchise so far, and the leader of the mercenary group. Then there's Jason Statham in the role of Lee Christmas, who will likely be the next leader of the group, and in just a bit, I'll tell you why I think so. Out of these two, there are also Dolph Lundgren and Randy Couture, who will return to their roles, Gunnar Jensen and Toll Road respectively. Out of the already established characters in the franchise, there will also be yet another group of mercenaries, Young Blood, who will try to replace the old guard, and the cast group that was picked for the roles includes Megan Fox, former boxer and strongman Eddie Hall, rapper Curtis Jackson, better known as 50 Cent, and last but not least, Andy Garcia, yet another very well-known name in the movie industry. There are also 4 other actors who have been cast for a still undisclosed role in the upcoming movie, and they are Tony Jaa in a character that goes by the name of Decho, Sheila Shah in the role of Mundy, something that has yet to be confirmed but looks likely, and joining them will be Jacob Scorpio, who made a name for himself in the latest Bad Boys for Life movie, where he portrayed the son of Will Smith's character, and Levy Tran, with her role yet to be confirmed. A movie like this, of this caliber, also has to introduce us to some mastermind villain, one that has a lot of power, and the Expendables are needed for that job, and not only them, but the new guys as well. And I'm here to tell you that the villain in the movie is going to be epic, because the role of the villain has already been assigned to Iko Uwais, who will try to bring his knowledge as a stuntman, martial artist, and fight choreographer in order to hit that like button, just like you should do if you haven't done it already. But no, in reality, to bring his knowledge of those things and change the entire franchise as to which kind of villains the Expendables have faced so far. Oh, and I almost forgot, Iko has been assigned for the lead villain role, and I'm here to tell you that he's not going to be the only one. Or at least that's what my educated guess says. As for the plot itself, the details are scarce, with only a brief synopsis that said that Ross and his mercenary group will face off against a very bad man that has the might of a massive private army. This character will likely be played by Iko Uwais. However, outside of this information, nothing has been confirmed yet. But there is one thing that will be certain. We should certainly expect an action-packed adventure that could probably change the entire franchise moving forward. Because, by the looks of things, there will probably be more sequels after the 4th, a detail you should keep an eye out for. The plot for the movie will probably be fairly simple and character-focused in order for the franchise to obtain the best results, something that made the first 2 movies of the franchise a bigger hit than the 3rd movie, with the narrative of the story of the upcoming movie delivering even more on the tension-building side of things, which will also help us understand the characters even more. There will also be, as I mentioned before, a lot of new characters that will probably continue the franchise to move further than Expendables 4. And the better we know them, the better the movie will be, right? One of the more concerning things regarding any movie that is in development is the time it takes for it to be made, whether it's a 2-year deal or a little bit more than that, which is also the case for the Expendables 4 movie as well, because after the success of the first 2 movies, which dropped in 2010 and 2012, the third sequel in 2014 did not live up to the expectations of the franchise. And this is probably why the 4th movie will be released a little less than a decade after its predecessor. But don't worry, I think that the long break between the movies will actually be a better thing for the future of the franchise, with the movie itself bringing some changes to the table just because the movie is taking so long to be made. Despite the long gap of 9 years since Expendables 3, the last time we saw the group, the long wait could potentially turn out to be a blessing in disguise. Because, let's face it, we've all seen big franchises lose the energy simply by releasing sequels one after the other, with the Expendables franchise letting things settle, and after that, to smash the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. But no, in all seriousness, let these things settle before continuing. A huge chance that could probably be just what the franchise needed after the 2014 movie's flop. A movie that looked forced, simply due to the fact that the first 2 movies were a success. And after a mistake like that, the break was probably the best thing that could have happened for the franchise. The long gap supposedly made yet another big change for the 4th movie, with the upcoming project eventually becoming a legacy sequel. And here is exactly why. Right when the production of the movie started, speculation started to fly around, which was that this would be in fact Stallone's last movie in the franchise, which was partially fueled by the title of the movie supposedly being Expendables: A Christmas Story, referencing Jason Statham's character Lee Christmas. After some time, Stallone did in fact confirm that the 4th movie will be his last ride in the character of Barney Ross, with him also adding that he's ready to pass the torch to someone else, and that someone else is Statham's Christmas. The whole idea of Barney retiring, alongside the general nostalgic component of the franchise, could make the 4th movie a unique entry with a lot of big changes occurring during the runtime of it. The same ones that will change the course of the franchise and the story of the future sequels as well, with Christmas as the next leader of the group, possibly one with some of the new faces in it. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see for ourselves when the movie hits the big screens. The one thing I'm looking for the most in the upcoming sequel is the villain side of things. Because more often than not, in these kinds of movies, because of the very famous casting group of the good guys, the villain is quite regularly put in the shadow of the others, something that will supposedly change in the upcoming movie. Or at least, that is what has been said about Iko Uwai's character moving forward. See you in the next video!